hello, boys and girls.
Hi.
What a wonderful day it is today in our money-based economy. Well, sit back and relax and get ready for the guy who's about to ruin everything.
I'm puzzled. Are you really seriously suggesting that Jesus Christ was a mushroom?
Wait, Jesus was a mushroom Roberts.
Yes. You are dealing with a secret cult, a secret society.
Welcome to Waning Interest.
Welcome to the Waning Interest Podcast, Patreon hour number 81, March 7th, 2022. The Babbling Dabbler, the smallest click on the internet, the pinball brain in your favorite machine. It's like a diary or a book, but not as stale. Or coherent. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached Art Monk. That is a reference for real football fans. It's all about the Commanders. Actually, that's the only hint for you detectives. The Commanders, Art Monk, 81. Happy Dos Unos to my lovely daughter. Well, it was yesterday, but saying it now because the coherency thing. 21. This cat is old, crusty. Want to see? It's pretty wild to think back 21 years ago. And the whole time during her mother's pregnancy, I would joke that I was going to be filming. I was going to be right between her legs over the shoulders of the doctor, just filming away. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not going to be there. You're going to be behind me. You're not going to be in the front because I don't want you to see how big it gets and you'll never want to go back. Wait, hold on one second. I got to do something. Hold on. Why didn't it work? That was rude. It was supposed to be more better timing, like, yeah, kind of like that. Anyway, I wasn't planning on doing, what I said I was going to do, jokingly. And the time came where my daughter decided to finally come out. Had to be induced. She was having a good time in the womb. Understandable. And I remember her mom. It was one of those funny, sad things to where I never saw her mother wasted. Like twice she was drunk. I saw her in all the years we were together. So it was kind of funny to see her in a different state, after that epidural. But at the same time, it was kind of, that's pretty sad. Oh my God, that's funny. Oh my God, that's sad. It was just this up and down sort of thing. So funny, but so sad. Just because there's no control and you're just so loopy. Remember that pretty clear. And then time came and me, her, and the nurse, and then the doctor comes in and I'm standing behind my daughter's mom, just like she wanted me to. And the doctor wheels up just like I am to the camera, sort of here, looks up at me over here and says, "Dad, come over here, stand next to me, put her left foot on your chest and lean forward." I win. came over, did what she said, and looked at her and went, "Sorry, sweetie, doctor's orders." What am I to do? So I took the orders and watched, and man, that is it's pretty powerful. Those that know what I'm talking about, pretty powerful, huh? To watch, to be that close and have that, because most of us at our age, at this point in time in 2022, most of us saw birth on some kind of film before seeing it for real as a parent or as a midwife or somebody helping or a doctor or whatever, nurse. So to have that extra layer taken away and like, whoa, it is right there. Holy shit. It's pretty intense. Especially when it's yours. I've been there when it wasn't. I was also there once when it wasn't even mine. So but that was a different one. That wasn't a natural birth that I saw. The first one years before. That was actually a C-section. Ooh, that's trippy. Watch, it's almost like they get their stomach set on their chest. What? Whoa, what? You see it in the mirror because you're on the other side. That's intense shit. But anyway, watching my daughter come out naturally and then, oh, her head. But that's why they have the soft spot. So we have the soft spot. And then when they took her over and cleaned her up and they were giving her a little shower and put the little shampoo in there, and the nurse holds her head over the water hitting the top of her head and streaming down like that, almost kind of like a baptism, even though that's more about psychedelics, but whatever. But that water hitting her forehead and falling back while her head was getting massaged, I got it on tape. I got that on tape. I didn't have the camera when she was born. I did set it aside. I left that out. Sorry. But my kid, she looked you could almost see like a smile, like her first smile was feeling that water hit her head and fall back. That was cool. You know, what sucks is that, what's it called? The amniotic fluid. You know that story where, with the amniotic fluid to where it, it's in their lungs from being in the womb. And they got to cough that shit up. Oh, man, whenever she coughed and was sort of, when a nurse wasn't around, man, I flipped the fuck out. And at one point, it was so bad, and I didn't want to touch her. I didn't want to harm her or whatever. She's all wrapped up in that little bassinet at the side of the bed in the hospital, of our bed, while her mother's sleeping, and in that little cough thing, and I didn't want to harm her, so I went running out of the room. Nurse! I'd hit the buttons first, and then I went running out of the room and yelling down the hallway. And she just comes in, just pats her on the back a couple times. It's just the amniotic fluid. Like, okay, cool. Nurse! I was flipping. It's trippy shit. I'm sure you know, most of you. I can't see. It just seems like most people that are patrons or whips, that are whips, or just whips that listen for only the unlocked hours. They all seem like they would be parents. I don't know if that's not totally true, because I know my kid's listened and she's not a parent yet. Whew. Thanks, Jim. I promised myself not to do that on camera. But that watching her like this, I got that on film. That's super cool. And that amniotic fluid thing, and just a trip. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Is they kept yelling at me because I wouldn't leave her because of that. What happened with the amniotic fluid thing? That nurse, Grace. It's like the principal in Ferris Bueller. Grace. After that, I didn't want to leave her in the bassinet, so I put her right in between, held her in the bed in between her mother and I while her mother slept. I just kind of sat up. A couple times the nurses came in and, you can't do that. Not supposed to do that. I'm like, dude, it's my kid. And, well, I guess you just saved her a little while ago. So, all right, you get to say what the deal is on your turf. And thanks again. Nurse! Oh, man. 21. Good golly. Good golly. Did I tell you we reached Art Monk? Can you believe that? 81. Wow, that's a trip. That's a trip. I didn't think I'd make it to 81. Told you it's just a chair. But a cool sound effect. But it'll get old. See? Now, if I had better timing. Anyway. This is fun, isn't it? Isn't it? All by myself? On video? It's a trip. I hope you enjoyed the previous podcast, number 80, with the Manson Saga discussion panel, Danny Paul and Mr. Beckham. Danny saving me from many fixes, thankfully, that I don't have to do now. Except for, just realized, in hour 78, did I already do this? No. In hour 78, talking about my first heroic dose of mushrooms, I think I said Tim and I split a quarter ounce when I meant that we both did a quarter ounce. We split a half ounce. Wait, when the fuck did this become math class? Half ounce is 14 grams, right? So that's what we had in split, but I do believe he had an extra cap and stem because he's a fucking thief, but that sounds dirty too, but whatever. And it wasn't. So I did 6.5 grams, and a heroic dose is 5 grams or more of cubensis, which is the normal magic mushroom that most people do. There are stronger ones that you don't need to do as that much, but still a heroic dose is always the best. It's where, like with mushrooms, listen, man, with mushrooms, what I'm trying to say is, I didn't play. That's rude, but still funny, I guess. But with mushrooms, unlike alcohol and narcotics, where too much is bad, mushrooms is more like cannabis, where more is better, I guess you could say, or you can't overdose. You can just be really stupid to eat more than 6-7 grams of mushrooms. You just fucking, and those that do that would be people that have done it many times. But to do that, just to do that, is, if you haven't done it before, is pretty silly. But more is better. My point being with mushrooms is, I've said it before. An eighth is like almost like the munchkins are there, but not. Or the Oompa Loompas or the Smurfs. And it's kind of like a tease, like, because you're expecting more or whatever. That's how eighths have always been for me. But then the heroic dose was, now I really get you. Because they go away. I've said this before, it's kind of like when you have a twitch in your eye, and then when you go to the mirror and you look at it and it stops. It's kind of like that. You turn your shoulder to see the Smurfs on your shoulder, hearing them giggle. You do this, and they're gone, like a leprechaun. The pot of gold is the healing, by the way. Whatever. And then you turn it over here, and gone. They just keep doing it, but it's not scary. It's just, I get it, because I also, when that happened, I had read so much, not so much, but read a lot, and kind of from other people's experiences and other writings. I was sort of expecting it, so it was cool. I wasn't scared of it, and you're not. It's not about you. No, people don't really have bad trips. It's just that little come up that's the rough part. It seems like a bad trip, but after that, it's like, wow, this is awesome. It's like it's like it's better than going to Universal or Disney to me. And like I've said to you before, I don't do it that often. Once, twice a year, maybe. Sometimes even a longer stretch without. But I remembered that I screwed that up, so I had to fix that. The heroic dose thing, where I'm pretty sure, I haven't gone back and listened, but I'm pretty sure I said that we split a 1/4 ounce, which is 7 grams, which would be an eighth. But no, that was wrong. We did more, which is better. Whew, that's fixed. There's the bell. You heard it in your own head, because I hate bell sound effects. Math class is over. It's a lot different on camera, isn't it? I've had a few of you whips and others that aren't whips that I know of, at least not Patreon whips, mention how the humor came across a little bit extra funny with facial expressions, not just mine, but everybody else's as well, from the last whip, from the last podcast with Danny, Paul, and Beckham. And yeah, I could have been a little bit less of a babbler, but I was like a little kid, so excited. And like I mentioned to Danny about being like Jack Torrance without the wife and kid in a building with many rooms and all alone in the snow in the boondocks, and not getting very far with the book, just like Jack Torrance. But I'm not going nuts, man. But it was nice to have company besides the ghosts. So I was a little excited. And as you know, for 50, I'm like a little kid. Which means I have to do this so I don't look like a little kid. Generic cigarettes, red apples from Pulp Fiction, and From Dusk Till Dawn. Thanks, Quentin. But it was 80 was a real blast. To kick off something a little different way to do things. Those guys they're fucking funny. And like, it kicked off, Patreon hours. I'm going to do Patreon hours like this, but it's like Might as well do them all video wise. And maybe the surprise once in a while will be just audio. Because just audio is kind of cool. Well, it is up on Apple and Spotify and what is it? TuneIn. All the ones where it's only audio, but it is on video on the YouTube page. So tell your friends, your real ones and the ones from the internets. Tell them, be nice to get more messages and again to the whips. Don't need the sexy ones, but keep them coming. Just have to throw out the disclaimer about them. Don't need them. It's kind of like with when I screen phone calls for radio hosts, and we got in trouble for wrong number stuff that we would do on the air, and then we had to say, "You're going on the air." Okay, remember, you're going on the air. We had to say it to them twice before putting them on hold. Before it was, it's a disclaimer. I'm getting a little tired of this chair. I mean, it's comfy, but Jesus H. I know it comes across. Because Danny said that she heard some stuff, and some of you whips mentioned that there were things that you heard that I was hoping you didn't hear. Please don't sneeze right now. That would be embarrassing. Because then I'd have to get up and go get a paper towel, because it'll be messy. It's wintertime. So I saw the Batman, and I gotta say, it was nice to watch a pretty lady say it's all about the Waynes. And it'll probably never happen again. But thank you, Zoe Kravitz, for delivering that line perfectly. But it's pretty trippy with the Batman thing. Every time it's not so, it's kind of trippy for me. Where I think I've said it before. Yeah, I've definitely said it before. Where I was part of a radio show, the Ron and Ron show in South Florida and the Southeast. It was syndicated into Alabama and Georgia and South Carolina. And when I first got the gig, Bennington named me Bruce Wayne. Everybody had a nickname. Like Joe, one of the other producers, he was called Joe Buffett. And I think, if I remember correctly, it was for the first 2 hours of the first show I was with them, I was referred to as Batman. And I was in the corner of the studio screening calls. And it was somewhere in the third hour where Ronnie flipped it from Bruce Wayne to Batman. Pretty cool, especially when you're like, wait, this is neat. This is fucked up shit. Now, I get into radio because of a certain show. Big inspiration. And now, 3 years later, I'm part of the show, sitting in the studio with them. And one of the hosts, one of these guys, is nicknaming me Batman. Dude, talk about, this is before my mushroom days, but I felt like I was tripping. With Batman being, just like so many other dudes and a lot of girls. That's the train going past the Royal River. Stand By Me, the movie, was actually here in Maine. I said that to Danielle in the last, in 80. 80. Who would 80 be? Shit. And the Steve Largent. Anyway, where was I? Just like everybody, just like so many Batman fans, obviously, that's why he's such a huge property and always makes money. When I was a kid in the 70s, when it wasn't so big, and he was he was already my favorite, I went on this camping trip with my best friend's family for I don't remember if it was one night or two. I think it was only one. Long time ago. I was 4 or 5. And I remember coming home. It was the coolest. It was just like fucking, it was better than, it hit just like a Christmas. I was also little, so it was, it was fucking special. Anyway, came home from not being with my mom and dad for a day or two. And so great to be home. And oh, wow, and I go up into my room and take my stuff up there. And on my bed is this brand new, really cool Batman doll. It wasn't like the action figures that came out in the 80s, but it was a little bit bigger, but still a cool little fucking, just right there. Whoa. Fucking whoa. That was cool. Nice job, parents. So I tried to, I don't know if I have done that for my daughter, something similar, but pretty close. Her first surprise birthday party was her 6th. Was it her 6th or her 7th birthday? I threw her a surprise early. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Nice and small. Had to keep it small for the surprise. And I didn't live in the biggest place. But that was pretty neat. She was pretty surprised. But that is one of those earliest super cool memories. Was to talk about the unexpected, the great unexpected as a little kid. Run upstairs just to, throw your stuff on the bed, in your room, and what the fuck? I got a gift just for, it just hit me. I got a gift for leaving and giving them a couple of days to themselves. That's what it was for. It's not because they loved me. It was because they were thanking me for leaving for a bit and getting out of their hair. Brilliant. That's why I never did that. I kept my kid in my hair as long as I could. She'll tell you. So yeah, when the emails, what is it? Yeah, waitinginterestpodcast@gmail.com. I haven't given the email out in a few podcasts, I realized. Just kind of spaced on it. But yeah, any of those kind of stories, I'd love to read them like this. It would be super fucking fun. As you could see, when I did stop babbling for certain amounts of time, I had a blast with whatever, with the things that Danny and Paul and Mr. Beckham were popping off with. And there was some good laughs. That one with Beckham, the joke about Paul putting his kid to sleep. What do you tell him, a joke? So great. I fucking love it. Those were the moments. That's what I was hoping would happen a lot, and it did. And that was pretty cool. In 2.5 fucking hours. Man, that's a lot of me. Sorry. I'm Batman. But yeah, and that was the other thing when so now I've got this nickname Batman, and then do the first couple of live gigs I did with the show. didn't I just tell this story? Did I tell this to somebody on the phone, or I don't think I told this on 80 or 79 or something. I don't think so. But after the live gigs with all the fans wanting me to sign stuff, it was the first time I ever signed shit. And now I said to be to go from that story, always being a Batman fan, 97, and the Tim Burton films were great, and then I actually went and saw Batman and Robin with Fezzi from the Ron Ron show. The day that it premiered, we left the fucking show, went across the street after the show was over, and went and saw the movie, and we're just like, wow. I had cut out these things because Fezzi was a big Batman fan from the Ron Ron show, and I had cut out all the little things from one of the magazines with their, these like big, like pictures like this, Batman and Robin, and Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy. We thought it was going to be good. We were really excited. Oh God. But what was I saying? Anyway, from that story to that, and then the live gig, because I think the live gig was after Batman and Robin premiered, so that was the first time I was around a bunch of Ron Ron fans and wanted me to sign stuff, and then to all the way to that, to Ronnie giving me that name, being a Batman, almost getting the Batman fucking that Tim Burton logo, that the one that he used right here, almost, because it was going to be for free. I was going to do it in black, but ran out of time on the Ron and Ron show. Thanks, Paulo. Jesus, he got a Tupac and Biggie Together Forever tattoo on his back. It was insane. But anyway, to go through all that and then to be going, I'm signing stuff, Batman. This is fucking. So underneath it, I wrote, "Eat my ass," just as a joke, because I think somebody screamed it out. I go, I don't know what to write. And somebody went, "Eat my ass." I went, Batman. And I went, "Eat my." I just started signing everything. Batman, eat my ass. Wow, I wonder if anybody's got that shit still. I won the spelling P. We had, it was a live gig to where we had different things. We had wet t-shirt contest. So there was a bunch of strippers there. We had a band. I was going to play bass in the band, but Parody Guy didn't think I could learn the songs quick enough, which I would have. But but Ronnie also wanted me to help take care of other stuff that was going on through the show, because I was only going to be a part of a few things. So behind the scenes, he wanted me for that anyway, not being on the stage all the time. Fezzi did Nature Boy. He used to do a Ric Flair thing, all dressed up. Bottom line, we are the best thing going today. Woo! Anyway, fucking Fezzi. Rip. What else did we have? Oh, the Binge Bowl was happening with Paulo and another guy, to where they basically had to eat whatever they were told and drink whatever they were told. And like, say you're the audience and I'm on the stage, right at the edge of the stage, and there's all this, the band's behind me, whatever. Over here on the right, on my right, we built sort of an extra part of the stage, and they were sitting at a table eating whatever Ron and Ron told them to eat or drink. And through the years, the Binge Bowl, you lost points if you puked, whoever did it. Before I was part of the show. But Paulo got so sick and barfed on so many people, and they loved it so much that the second night, Ronnie B changed the rules to where they got points for puking. So, what a fucking mess. So, you got the binge bowl going on the whole show. Band playing songs intermittently. Wet t-shirt contest with strippers. A dominatrix with a what's her name? Mistress. What was her name? Amanda Payne. And Tigger was her slave. And they did a little thing there. What else besides the spelling P? Oh, and then at the end, all of us sang Wild Thing. The whole show, everybody that was most people that were part of the show. But there was also the spelling P, which I did with Joe Buffett. Fezzi, with us, me and Joe Buffett doing, notes and stuff, being the producers, the two main producers. Fezzi started to notice that when Joe Buffett would do notes, there was a lot of bad grammar and a lot of misspelled words, and that became a thing with trying to figure it out, which became part of the show as a joke, and realizing it was Joe with testing us and all this stuff. So they decided we'd have a spelling P between me and Joe Buffett. And the thing was that, did I tell this on 80? Who did I must have just I don't think so. I think this was a part of a phone call where I just recently told it. Point being, between the two of us, you had 3 words to get. First, to get 3 words wrong, lost. But if you got a word wrong, Bennington would hit you with a stun gun. I got hit with a stun gun. There's a picture of it, of me falling in it. It's weird because it looks like I have a smile on my face. So apparently I'm submissive. But at the end, if you lost, it was called the spelling P because you would have to stand over to this side of the stage left, and by where these stairs were, and there was a bullseye with a balloon a few feet above, and it was full of cat piss, curdled milk, it might have been dog piss, cigarette butts, and ashes. I'm not sure, but anyway, luckily I won both nights, to where I didn't have to stand there scared shitless, knowing it's going to happen, but also scared because from across the bar was a guy named Rooster, who was known as he was kind of like a fucking Hawkeye in Florida. Across the bar with his bow, pop that balloon and splash. And then somebody got a great pic that somebody else ended up with when the show ended, but a great pic of that splash first hitting Joe's head and him like this. And oh man, it was great. He lost both nights, the poor bastard. It's like a fucking dog who just got sprayed with a skunk. So bad. And then come to find out, Rooster was fucking epileptic. Imagine all of a sudden having to see, fuck. But luckily I didn't have to stand there for that. Or have to take all those tomato sauce showers. I don't know what he did to get all that out, but the poor bastard. But the funny thing is, his grammar and spelling got so much better. But yeah, so Batman won the spelling P. Is that a headline or what? Really tired of that. I know I could just sit still, but that would be boring. And I am sitting still. I haven't gotten up at all, for fuck's sake. But should be able to still move around, man. It's it's kind of embarrassing, you know. Why didn't it play? It's kind of embarrassing, you know. I hope that was enjoyable. 40 minutes in. Oh my gosh, that's not too bad. That is not too bad. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, because I talked about my daughter. Um, um, well, first, all right, 40 minutes in. That's pretty good for waiting to say anything political. So I'm going to make it really fucking quick. I can understand lefties sticking to their guns and looking past shitty things that their politicians have done or are doing. Used to do it myself. Wasted a lot of hate on Bush and company, you know, after I had many folks try to tell me in different ways that there is no left and right. It's all bullshit to keep you, you know, fucking stupid and fighting amongst each other. I finally realized that they were right. Finally. It wasn't right away. I said right. I meant correct. And I mean, now it's so dead on. It's so easy to see. You know, I was on the Obama train for a minute when way before he was elected. Started seeing the bullshit in the buildup of him, and then he filled his cabinet with fucking Wall Street, and the shades couldn't come off anymore. You know, it's a Rowdy Roddy They Live reference. Couldn't take them off. I see it all over the place, and it gets worse, which is good but bad. But that's what the mushrooms are for. But since then, whenever our government speaks and tries to make whatever garbage they're spewing seem like it's a wonderful surf and turf dinner, it's just obvious to see it's really big fat steamy links that fell out of a Great Dane's ass, you know, dog shit made to look like butter soaked lobster. Ugh. I don't know. It's so. Speaking of shit, yeah, that's because I talked about my daughter. I can't not mention my stepson, and knowing that you know, it's just a couple of shit stories. I can't remember if I've told them before, but my stepson is 6.5 years older than my daughter, and I was since he was 4.5 or so. I'd been around him as you know his mother's boyfriend before becoming his stepfather. A few years later, and he had a thing where whenever we went out to eat somewhere, he'd have to take he'd have to go number 2, as we say, the code. And it was funny. It was annoying, but also funny at the same time. It was like, this is anyway. There was one time where Christmas shopping, and there was a thing where his mother would do where we would go once and he could walk through Toys R Us and just point out a few things that he really liked, and she'd write a letter to Santa and whatever, make sure that he got what he liked, at least a few things, something like that. Anyway, as soon as we walk into Toys R Us, Mom, I gotta go to the bathroom. So Would I, all right, bud, let's go. I would take him in, go into the stall, clean the stall up, clean the seat and everything, make sure everything's all clean, and set the other toilet paper or the thing on top for him and everything, get him all ready, and then shut the door. I'll be right here by the sinks. And we walked into this fucking toilet, and it stunk so bad. It was just, so there's something in the pipes, but whatever, it was just bad. I'm like, sure, buddy, you sure you can't hold it for a bit? Okay. So I don't want to stand in here. Oh God, it's already so bad. Go in and do get him all ready. He's in there, and I'm standing there by the sinks, just waiting for him, and I just can't help it. And God, oh my God, it's so bad in here. And then I just hear this. That's just my poop. That's just my poop. He's totally serious. He wasn't trying to be funny. Just my poop. Like, no, dude, it already was bad in here. And then we went to Denny's once. We actually went there a lot. That was his one night a week, Tuesday nights, or was it Tuesdays or Thursdays? I think it was Tuesday nights was his night to pick whatever he wanted, whatever. It was his night to pick dinner. And because Tuesdays, he was a genius, because Tuesdays were free nights for kids, I think it is. Tuesdays. Okay, sure. If you get to eat for free, let's go to Denny's. If that's what you like. And I love the fucking moons over my hammy. And as you know, as being a whip, we don't do ads, but still good. As we're leaving, he says, Mom, I gotta go. I went, but we're leaving. You sure you can't wait for a second? And he's like, no, I can't wait. And his mother's like, no, you're waiting. We can wait, because we were right around the corner. He's like, oh, okay. All the way out into the parking lot. Oh, every step he took. He's what, 5.5, 6, maybe? I can't remember. Oh. So I'm already a few chuckles I've had trying to help, but I'm helping. Come on, bud. All right. I want to get you home, buddy. I know it hurts. I know. Get to the truck, open the door for him, the back door, and to help him in. As he's climbing into the car. Oh, it's trying to get out. Oh, the look on his face, I'll never forget it. Oh, that's so funny. Buddy, you gotta stop talking. You're making me laugh. I can't get in the car to drive and go. I want to get you home. Oh, it's trying to get out. I love that shit. Hey, Joe Cruz, you know what to do. You know where to find Joe. CruzVO.com. And thank you to all my peebles, the whips, my peebles. Twitter and Instagram, Wayne Roberts 811. All that stuff's right here. If you're on the Patreon, it's right there. It's on that page. Subscribe to the YouTube, even though this YouTube thing, but because it's for Patreon, it's a private thing. So, but I think you can still maybe, I don't know. But everything's everywhere. But you should know that being a whip. But maybe some of you, when you just becoming, maybe you don't. Oh, it happened again. Not fair. It's not fair, because At least you got my face now with the timing. To where when it doesn't hit, at least you got the fuck. And now, why won't that disappear? And now you got both. There, now that's it. Damn son of a bitch, honkies fucks. I got 9.5 minutes left. Oh! Today was the PBA, Professional Bowlers Association. The PBA, the TV finals for the doubles, the Roth-Holman doubles championship. EJ Tackett and Marshall, can't say his name. They won. Spoiler alert. My dad's favorite bowler was Mark Roth. Passed away recently, and they did this thing beforehand honoring Mark. He was one of the greats. He's Arnold Palmer, bowling, if you want to use golf. Yeah, definitely one of those big names. Greg Nicholas. Is it Greg Nicholas? Wait a minute. Jack Nicholas. Greg Nicholas. What was I trying to say? Oh, Greg Norman. So they kind of look like they're related. Golfing's so incestuous. But the cool part was of today's bowling was Dave Lamont did the play-by-play instead of one of the normal guys that do it with Randy Peterson for the PBA stuff, the TV stuff. Dave, sometimes it's Dave, I can't say his name, and sometimes it's another guy, Chris Rose. I can't think. Wow, why can't I think of their names? I hear their voices. I can hear them in my head. But Randy Peterson is always the color guy. Former, he's a Hall of Famer bowler in Florida. When I lived in Florida, I actually bowled with Randy on a league on his team while he was helping me switch from bowling with my wrist really cupped and really revving the ball up to having my wrist more like this when I, instead of like this. I used to hold the ball like that, like Tom Smallwood if you're a bowler, or like Jacob Buttriff. I had a similar thing like that, but my approach looked more like if you know who Jimmy Keith was, it was more like Jimmy Keith, but I threw the ball way slower, nowhere near as strong. Randy was my coach, and I bowled with him when he moved to South Florida because for his wife Becky that he married, and I already lived there, and it was and this was in the other Hollywood. And Dave Lamont, who did the play-by-play today, I used to work with in radio after I left bowling, after the Randy thing. So it's like, wow, this is cool. Watching, something that I've known my entire life. And I'm listening to a guy do the play-by-play that I used to work with in Miami, doing the play-by-play, and what with, my coach, I know a guy who coached me for a bit and that I bowled with, a Hall of Famer. That's pretty fucking trippy, like a trinity. See, it all comes full circle. But need a drink? Where are we at on time? Where are we at? I always forget to look. 54:36. So speaking of Ron, I'll go ahead and tell this story, or should I save it? Before I was named Batman, Ron and Ron were in a different city in Tampa before they moved to Fort Lauderdale, where I became Batman. But before that whole deal, I was actually flown from Fort Lauderdale to Tampa to go audition to be their producer when they had their main producer. Which the gig that I didn't get, but became it anyway later on. I'd never been in a Gulfstream before. I'd never been in one of those small jets. I hadn't flown in a few years. My God. So I was a little nervous. So I inhaled a big beer in the bar beforehand, before getting on that plane. It's a small trip, but I didn't expect, after doing that, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to pee soon. There's a lot of beer. I'll pee on the plane. I'll be all right. Walk out of the plane, get on this Gulfstream. And as I'm doing this, going down to find my seat, there's only 27 of them. Where's the toilet? Went over to the pilot. Oh, there's no toilet. Not on this plane. And it's only a 45-minute trip, so. That's a long time after inhaling those 2 beers. I'm fucked. So that's what I'm thinking anyway. It was 27 seats or something. I think 26. Yeah, because the last row was just 3 across. There were six people, all dudes. There were 6 of us on the plane. And I sat there and I was writing a bunch of stuff and ideas for Ron, just writing and just trying to keep my mind off my bladder. And it was working for a while. And then I ran out of ideas. So then I started writing about stuff. There was another thing that I was working on, writing a script. And I started working on that. And it was working. And then I ran out of ideas. And then I had to pee. And I look up, I look around the plane, and I realize, oh, everybody's asleep. The other 5 people are asleep. Wow. How can I piss? How can I piss? I decide to get up. I go to the front of the plane to the pilots, pop my head into the cockpit and go, guys, I really have to go. How much farther out are we? He says, oh, we got about 15 more minutes. I'm not going to be able to make it. And the other one goes, hey, go to the back. There's nobody sitting in the back. Go to the back, take a couple of puke bags, double them up, piss in the puke bag, fold it up and everything. Just take it off the plane and throw it away. You got it. I went to the back as fast and quietly as possible so I wouldn't wake up any of the other 5 dudes that were scattered through the back towards the back of the plane. Didn't want to wake anybody up because then I have stage fright. And you know when you've held it for a long time, that it takes a while to fucking go. It took a while to get it finally out. And also, I got one knee up on the chair and on the seat and one off. And I'm holding this out. And I'm like, this is the open of the hallway. Not hallway, but you know what I'm talking about. Between the seats. Hallway, what the fuck? The walkway. And trying to, and the plane's, of course, moving around or whatever. And it's tough to pee on a plane. Why those toilets become so messy. And finally did it. So to get off the plane, walking off, and I'm like, yeah, I hold it up to the fucking highlight. I'm taking it. They point, you go. Thank you guys for telling me to do that. Thank you very much. No worries, no worries. So I go to meet the person that's picking me up at the airport. And as I'm shaking their hand, I've got a bag of piss in the other. Hey, how are you? Hey, good to see you. Yeah, where's the trash can? So this hour has been all about piss and poop, and I've run over. Look at that. And now there, I just hit an hour. How about that? Because I was making sure I realized, what the fuck? I don't have to keep this as exactly an hour. It's fucking Patreon, and who gives a shit? But, so you got to go when you got to go. So can't watch Redacted Tonight anymore, but watch Corbett Report, Jimmy Dore, Russell Brand, Kim Iverson. Look for yourself. I'm just a fun babbling devil. Story ran long. Had to bump comedian Don Myrera. Thanks, Gary. Daddy loves you.
Messing with my peoples.